Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got you guys the Week 15 tight end rankings. Now, these are based off of the PPR format, so if you have any questions about half PPR or standard, please make sure to leave them down below in the comments. Now, before I get into these Week 15 tight end rankings, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, obviously, on the website, they have NFL, mainly what I cover, but they also have NBA as well, so you can get your fix for both NBA and NFL on OverlayDFS.com. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the NFL here. My favorite game to play is the progressive game mode. Now, they have entries at all price points, $2.5, $22, or $109. Now, the cool thing here is what progressive means. There's that beautiful progressive bonus. If you hit 12 and 0, you will cash that progressive bonus. And the $22 game, you cash a progressive bonus of over $10,000. Now, obviously, on Sunday, it is going to be even higher than that. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It is going to be even higher at that time when it comes to hit Sunday. So make sure you check that out. Now, the way that the game works, it is very simple. If you hit the top 10% of players, you win 9 times your buy-in. It is that simple. And the way I'm going to show you how it works, it is so simple. All you got to do is make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks in case one of your players ends up getting hurt or something happens that causes the matchup to be voided. It is so simple. It is player versus player. Pat Mahomes versus Denver, or do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will do better versus the Atlanta Falcons? It is so simple. To me, that is obviously Pat Mahomes, but there's so many matchups here. Over 30 plus matchups that you could choose from. They are different every single week, and it is so easy to do. Pretty much you're not even really playing against everyone. It's just you versus the cutoff to see if you can hit that top 10% and win 9 times your buy-in. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. And we are back. Please make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com. Link down below in the description. Let's get right into the video. Week 15 tight end rankings. Now, my number one ranked tight end this week is Travis Kelce, going up against the Denver Broncos. Now, I had a bit of difficulty here going between Kelce and between George Kittle because I believe both of these guys are going to have humongous games this week. Travis Kelce obviously gets the Denver Broncos, a defense that really cannot stop anyone. I think that Travis Kelce is going to have a huge game this week. Obviously, at the beginning of the season, he started off not playing too hot or not playing up to the tight end that we thought he would be. Obviously, we thought he'd be a guy that was good for 15, 20 points every single game, and he was not playing like that, getting about 10 points per game. More recently, he's been scoring 15, 20-ish points. The last couple of games, he's been playing a lot better. And in this game up against the Denver Broncos, a great matchup for Travis Kelce. I predict he's the number one tight end on the week. Coming in at number 2, we have George Kittle going up against the Atlanta Falcons. And last week, there was 3 dudes grabbed onto him, and he made them look like a bunch of baby back bitches. He was just walking. He was just swerving on him, just straight up fucking walking with 3 dudes on him, straight up the sideline, almost into the. It was just beautiful. It was just beautiful. No one can stop George Kittle. He's a fucking monster this year. And up against the Atlanta Falcons defense, a defense that is soft as fuck, a defense that you can easily gash with the tight end, the wide receiver, the running back. Fucking Jimmy Garoppolo could probably run for 1,000 yards on this defense because they're so fucking bad. I believe that George Kittle will be able to put up a monster game this week. That's why he's ranked number 2. Coming in at number 3, we have Zachy Ertz, Mr. 2 touchdown man from last week, going against the Washington Redskins. And obviously this week, this is just as cupcake of a matchup as last week. Last week, he played up against the New York Football Giants. This week he gets a defense that's probably even worse in the Washington Redskins. I believe Zach Ertz puts up a huge game this week yet again. Obviously, not like last week. He scored 2 touchdowns, 30 fucking fantasy points. I doubt he does that in this game. Probably more around 15 to 20, but that's still a big game for Zachy Ertz. Coming in number 4, we have Darren Waller going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is not that good at stopping the tight end. And the last couple of weeks, Darren Waller has been getting a lot of targets. He just has not found the end zone, and I think that breaks this week. I think that Darren Waller finds his way into the end zone and obviously puts up a big game like we were used to Darren Waller scoring at the beginning of the season. Coming in at number 5, we have Tyler Higbee going up against the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry's World in Dallas. Now, Tyler Higbee is just about the hottest tight end pickup I've ever seen. He was not doing all that good at all this season. He was down here, Everett was up here, and then Everett gets hurt. Higbee has fucking rose all the way to the maximum, all the way up to the tippy top, and Higbee has balled out 2 games straight, and this week he's up against the Dallas Cowboys. I really think he can put up a 20-point game in this game, just like we've seen in the last 2 games for Tyler Higbee. Obviously, Jared Goff loves throwing the ball to Tyler Higbee. Coming in at number 6, we have Hunter Henry going up against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I dabbled here trying to figure out where to put Hunter Henry. Sorry if I just sounded like an absolute idiot right there. But I thought about putting Hunter Henry above Tyler Higbee, but Tyler Higbee has just been on such fucking fire. He's scoring touchdowns, he's catching a lot of balls, whereas Hunter Henry has been kind of taking a downturn. He just hasn't been putting up the big numbers that we've normally seen from Hunter Henry, at least from right when he returned from that injury for a couple of weeks. He was on fire, and now he has kind of dabbled off, and he's playing against the Minnesota Vikings, a defense that is kind of good against the tight end position, so that's why I have Hunter Henry at 6 and Higbee at 5, but you can obviously argue that Hunter Henry may put up the bigger game than Higbee, and I really wouldn't judge you at all. Coming in at number 7, we have Jackie Doyle going against the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Now, last week, Jack Doyle put up a dud for your fantasy team. He did not do all that well after the week before seeing 11 fucking targets, which is just crazy. I think in this game against the New Orleans Saints, he is a bounce back type of game. If T.Y. Hilton doesn't play, obviously that bodes even better for Jackie Doyle in this game. Coming in at number 8, we have Dallas Goedert going against the Washington Redskins in Washington. Now, like I said for Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert is going to be able to gash this defense as well. They're terrible against the tight end, terrible against the pass, terrible against the run, terrible against pretty much fucking everything. They are so fucking bad that it is embarrassing. Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz can both perform quite well, considering they really have no fucking wide receivers. Their best wide receiver on the field is Zach Ertz. Their second best wide receiver on the field is Dallas Goedert, and their third best wide receiver on the field is probably Miles Sanders. Alshon Jeffrey isn't going to fucking play. Fucking Nelson Aguilar literally has, like, feet for hands. He can't fucking catch the ball. He's just an idiot. The ball goes right through his hands. He can't hold on to the ball. So I think that Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz can both put up top 10 games on the week. Coming in at number 9, we have Ian Thomas, the backup for Mr. Third Leg, Greg Olsen, going against the Seattle Seahawks. And Ian Thomas put up a great game last week. I see no reason why he will not put up another good game this week. We know from earlier in the season, Kyle Allen liked targeting the tight end. That tight end was Mr. G. Reg, Third Leg Olsen. But now it is Ian Thomas. I believe that Ian Thomas, if George Kittle is out, will put up a top 10 performance on the week, just like we saw him do last week. Coming in at number 10, we have Austin Hoop God going up against the San Francisco 49ers in San Francisco. Now, I am a bit worried about Austin Hooper this week. The San Francisco 49ers defense is no joke, but we saw last week Jared Cook fucking lay the pipe down on that defense last week. So I believe that I believe that Austin Hooper could do the same thing this week up against the San Francisco 49ers, and I like him to be a top 10 guy since Calvin Ridley is out for the remainder of the season. Coming in at number 11, we have Mr. Mikey G. Mikey Gesicki, Licky Ahmad Gesicki, going against the New York Giants. Now, this is a cupcake matchup for Mikey G. If Devontae Parker misses this game, like, could happen. He may play, he may not play. I don't currently know. I'm recording this on Friday at night. Obviously, you're seeing this on Saturday. Mike Gesicki will be even better if Devontae Parker is out, but if Devontae Parker is in, I still like Mike Gesicki to be a top 12 tight end on the week up against this soft-ass New York Giants defense. And coming in at number 12, we have Jared Cook going against the Indianapolis Colts, and he is the biggest injury concern of the week at the tight end position. I'm not sure if he is going to play on Monday night. You're going to have to monitor this all the way until Sunday, and then unless you have Jack Doyle, you probably have no backup plan for Monday, so you're just going to have to see on Sunday if you think he's going to play or not. I will obviously tell you guys my thoughts on if he's going to play or not, so if I think he's going to play, you throw him in. He has been on fucking fire, and you're going to have to ride the flames, but if he doesn't end up playing, obviously you're going to have to let him ride the pine this week. Now to 13 through 20, so if you guys have enjoyed this video thus far, please make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. Coming in number 13, we have Jacob Hollister going against the Carolina Panthers. Now, while this is a great matchup for Jacob Hollister, I'm not sure Russell Wilson will be targeting Jacob Hollister super heavily in this game. With Tyler Lockett looking like he can make an actual comeback and start catching balls, it may be obviously bad for Jacob Hollister, but this is still a great matchup for him, and I can definitely see him being a top 10 type of play on the week, but just some more risk with the fact that Tyler Lockett looks like he may actually be healthy. Coming in at number 14, we have Noah Fant going against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, obviously, Noah Fant was not doing anything at the beginning of the year with Joe Flacco, and then he gets Brandon Allen, and Brandon Allen looks pretty good, and now he has horse cock Drew Lock, and Drew Lock is feeding Noah Fant the rock, and I believe that against the Kansas City Chiefs, he could put up a huge game this week and is definitely a safer type of option, and he's probably the safest option on here aside from Jacob Hollister, because once we get past Noah Fant, it gets like a bit of risky business back here. Coming in number 15, we have David Njoku going against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, if he plays on Sunday, he could absolutely gash this defense. The Arizona Cardinals defense spreads like the Red Sea and lets you run straight through it. You could do everything up to this defense. You could just fuck them repeatedly, throwing the ball to the tight end, throwing it to the wide receiver, running it with Nick Chubb. Anything against this team will work. Now, David Njoku, last week returns, plays like shit. This week he has an easy matchup, but it is a bit of a risk. It is a bit of a dice roll to play David Njoku this week. Coming in number 16, we have Jason Witten going against the LA Rams. And Jason Witten is probably the safest play at the tight end position ever because you know he's going to catch the ball probably a couple of times in the game and he has potential to score a touchdown. He has like the floor of 6-7 points, and these guys behind him may not end up seeing that. So Jason Witten is just a super duper safe play, but I'm not sure if he doesn't find the end zone, you're going to be very, very disappointed in playing Jason Witten. Coming in at number 17, we have O.J. Howard going against the Detroit Lions. Now, this Detroit Lions defense is terrible. O.J. Howard could obviously put up a huge game in this game if Jameis Winston decides to throw the ball to him. Now, that is the most confusing thing about O.J. Howard. We know the talent is there. Aside from that one game where he tried to catch the ball with his back and it bounced off his back and fucking it was an interception, wasn't even Jameis's fault. But the thing with O.J. Howard is you're dealing with famous Jameis Winston, the W eater, the crab stealer. Now, if O.J. Howard ends up getting targeted in this game, he could be a potential top 10 guy because the Detroit Lions defense is so bad. But just like the running backs on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I am very unsure who's getting the touches, who's getting the targets. I'm just not sure I would trust O.J. Howard this week, even with Mike Evans out. We will see this week if it proves that we can trust O.J. Howard for our championship game. But, you know, if you're in the championship game, I really doubt you have O.J. Howard on your team. Coming in at number 18, we have Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, going against the LA Chargers. And like I said in my start sit video, I'm a bit nervous about Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, on the week. It seems like Adam Thielen may play. Now, if Adam Thielen plays, that really hurts Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, and you cannot put him in your lineup. Obviously, he is a guy that really, really, really needs that tight end. We saw a few weeks ago him reach back like 1-3 and catch a beautiful touchdown, but I'm not sure who will be able to do that this week up against the LA Chargers when the Chargers are at home, but it's not really at home because when you're playing at home in LA, like the fucking other fans just show up, they take it over. It's going to be all purple in the crowd, but I really do not like Kyle Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, this week. Coming in at number 19, we have Jimmy Graham going against the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears defense, while has not looked the hottest this year, you know they are still a good defense. And Jimmy Graham has been very, very hit or miss this season. He's like throwing a fucking bomb in your lineup. He's either going to score you 0 points or absolutely fuck the shit out of your other team and score you like 15 points. But there's really no in between for Jimmy Graham. I do not feel confident at all in playing Jimmy Graham this week. Coming in at number 20, we have Darren Fells going up against the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee. Now, Darren Fells is also a huge fucking dice roll. You put the dice in your hand, you roll it up, you throw it at the wall. Darren Fells either scores a touchdown, scores 2 touchdowns, or scores no touchdowns and gets you a point, okay? And I'm just not risking it in my fantasy football semifinals playing Darren Fells. Sit him down on the bench. Do not trust him this week, but obviously there's guys that are a lot worse than Darren Fells. Obviously, I only do the top 20 because once you get past 20, once you get past fucking 14, it's a certified shit show. So thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you end up enjoying, please click that subscribe button down below. It is also probably on your screen right now. Click on one of the videos that's either over here or down over here. Check out overlaydfs.com, link down below in the description. I love each and every single one of you guys. See you guys on the live stream Sunday morning before the games. I love you all. Goodbye, my friend.